Hey gang, it's your boy, DZ, coming in with a pre-show disclaimer. I know, it's going to be a good one when we have to have a conversation before the show even starts. Well, unfortunately, this show isn't going to be at the quality level that I personally like to deliver to you, the listener, this time. Unfortunately, the audio that Campbell sent me was unusable, but we back it up with the Skype audio for this exact reason, so we can still have the show, so we don't have to re-record it. But that being said, it is not going to sound as good as the show normally does. I take this as kind of a blow to my, personality here, because I'm a audio engineer by trade, and I try to deliver the best sounding, if not best, well, definitely not best, but best sounding 40k podcast on the market. And it's not going to be the case this episode. So for that, I apologize. That being said, I hope you do enjoy the show. It still does have a lot of yucks from a couple of schmucks. All right, gang, enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 40k Badcast, episode 91. My name is, of course, Dan Boyd, and I am joined, as always, by the internet's favorite gearhead or petrol head or car guy. That's right. It's Carburetor McLugnut.
Yeah, I like this one. All right. Yeah, I feel like that's good because not only am I clearly a car guy, as you can tell by the fucking Kia Soul I drive, but it also sounds like a Transformer name, and I'm really into that.
Yeah, that one just came to me. Sometimes I have to work at these, and sometimes they just come to me because I'm just that good.
Yeah, no, your practice at this point. I'm actually almost amazed it took you 91 episodes to come up with that one.
Hey, I got a lot of stuff rattling around in this old brain pan up here, all right?
That's fair. Rome wasn't built in a day after all.
It's like a gachapon, and it's all great ideas. All right, let's hit the aspects where we talk about what's on our hobby radar. I'm going to start with a little bit of hobby progress. I have finished my impulsor. I have in my notes here, I spelled it wrong, the emulsor. I finished my impulsor. It is it's great. I like it a whole lot. It's good too. It's a good little transport.
Nice.
So I'm very happy with that. It took a while. I had to keep varnishing it after every step of highlights, which was very annoying. But because of the way it is, I couldn't really hold it in a way that stuff wouldn't get rubbed off. So I just had to do that.
So it's the same thing that happened with your with the big boy, with the Astraeus.
Yeah,
only this thing actually can carry infantry models.
Right. Yeah. The Astraeus, though, that was a whole situation. But yeah, it was the same. It was pretty much the same issue, because the repulsors, there's enough on the bottom where I didn't really paint that where you can grab onto it and stuff and move it around. But on the impulsor, it's kind of too small for that. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy the end phase of painting that, to be honest.
That's a shame. I really like how the monitors in the back of it came out, though.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was, though you can't even see them when you put the thing for the shield dome on. So, that's important. It's, I have to do it. I have to post, or not post, but I have to finish the whole model. I can't not do it. I'm crazy like that.
No, I get that. All right. So were you to paint another one of these things, God forbid, would getting the extra thick boy butt plug be able to hold on to the little floaty stand? Let me say that again in English in a way that some people might actually be able to understand. So how there's the painting handle and there's the XL painting handle? Would you be able to take the XL painting handle and either glue a base on temporarily underneath it, or use the flight stand it has to snap onto that and hold it that way instead?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
I don't really want to do another one of these though, so I don't think that's ever going to come up.
All right, entirely fair. If
Space Marines get to the point where I need to have two impulsors to be competitive or something, then I might just not.
Extremely fair.
Yeah. So I have I mentioned the secret project last episode, and I'm still not ready to talk about it. Okay. It's still in flux. So that's my secret project update. I have started painting the Primaris Tech Marine, Campbell.
Oh, hell yeah.
After this vehicle, I thought to myself, it'd be nice just painting one model, one character. And so I'm on to the Primaris Tech Marine. He's getting that red base coat. I am mostly done with the first layer of base coats, and I'm enjoying this model a lot so far. I can't wait to finish it up. Should be pretty quick. It's only one model.
How are you integrating the Raven Guard scheme into him? Is he going to have like white arms like a bunch of your veterans do, or just the shoulder pad, or what?
Oh, no, man. He's a Tech Marine. Tech Marines have red armor.
All right. Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to give him like a red body of armor and the white arms. He's going to look like a fucking ambulance. And I already have an ambulance Marine with the fucking apothecary. No, he's just red.
All right.
He's just red. He's got black left shoulder pad, where the company insignia is, and he's got a black right knee pad. Where I'm going to throw either a Raven Guard symbol if I can get one small enough, or a old 19 and XIX.
Nice.
Because of course Raven Guard is the 19th Legion, and XIX. It's just cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Six.
Yeah.
The
Zix Legion.
Also in Hobby Progress news, Scott Horse Heresy gave me an airbrush.
Ooh.
But I haven't used it or took it out of the trunk of my car yet.
Cool. That's about as far along as I got with my airbrush when that was gifted to me by my friend Chris back in Massachusetts, where I put it in a closet for a couple of years, then gave it to Dylan and moved to the other side of the country.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it for terrain when the time comes, or fuck it, maybe I'll give it a shot when I start painting Aeronautica.
Ooh, oh yeah, that's actually a really good shout.
There's an idea. So yeah, I've actually been very happy with Hobby Progress lately because I actually fucking finished something, and I'm getting through on this character. So it's moving, man. I'm chipping away at that old backlog.
Nice. I'm happy to hear it.
Okay, what about you?
So I finished the Wild Stallions. I was wrapping up last episode.
Now, those are of course the prospects for the Escher gang.
Right, but I also moved on to more Escher after that. So I just sent you a work in progress picture. I've finished it since taking this photo, but it's the only picture I have on my phone. So I painted the 2 Death Maidens that came in that set, and I even I tried to do the translucent veil thing that they do in the studio scheme for the Death Maiden, and I am thrilled to bits with how that came out.
Thrilled even.
I am thrilled to bits about these bits.
I'm usually the one who's thrilled on this podcast, so this is great news.
Yeah, this is like the opposite of a heel turn.
Oh, that would be a face turn.
A face turn? Yeah, all right, that makes sense. As opposed to a face roll, which is something I'm much more used to from gaming online.
How is this a face turn?
It's face turning into another face. It's like
it's like
turning the tables 360 degrees.
Because you're the current baby face of the podcast.
This is true.
So you can't take a face turn.
No, you're right. So this is a thrill turn. What's a thrill turn?
I don't know, Campbell. I don't know everything.
Oh, I figured you might. This is your purview.
You're a pervert.
You're a purview. So
Stop calling me names.
I was at first kind of intimidated at doing the translucent veil effect thing. It's kind of the thing I see in a lot of miniature painting groups is like the hard thing to do, and it's definitely not easy. But I just said fuck it and just fucking rattled this off in 10 minutes.
So how did you do it? And please post this to your Twitter if you haven't done so already, so people can know what the hell we're talking about.
I'll be posting completed pictures of these probably today.
Okay.
I just haven't gotten to break out the light box yet.
Well, if you post them today, then by the time the show comes out, our listeners will be able to see them.
Well, that's the idea.
So, because I am not going to edit this tonight and then post it.
You're telling me you're not editing this live as we're recording?
I certainly am not.
Slacker.
We don't have the staff for that, Campbell.
The entirety of our staff is on this call. This is an all-hands meeting, technically. Technically, this is our 91st regular on-hands meeting.
Ever since we fired the Zinger Dinger.
Hey, we don't talk about him.
I'm sorry. We have an NDA. We can't talk about him.
Yeah, let's just say HR got involved. It was a whole mess. But yeah,
man,
so
that's a callback. That's got to be a callback to like 60 episodes ago.
Yeah, that is going back literally years. If you remember he who shall not be named, he who is no longer affiliated with the 40k Badcast, our unofficial third chair, then good on you. You're a real Badcast old head.
Oh, man. We have too many episodes of this show. This is terrible.
We're about to hit triple digits. It's getting frightening.
We're getting close, man. 9 away.
We're going to need to do some sort of extravaganza for that. Anywho, so this veil, I painted just Celeste gray, and I was like, fuck it. All right, let's just do the blending on the parts of the face art and see how that goes. Mm-hmm. And I just hit him up with I mixed in a little bit of, I think I used the middle flesh, not dwarf flesh anymore, Acadian flesh tone in there, and just did 2 layers of that. Then I mixed in a little bit of Dark Reaper and water that down to do the eye holes, and that was fucking it. Nothing to it.
Grab your Glock when you see Tupac. Call the cops when you see Tupac. Sorry, you said hit him up, and then I thought of the song "Hit 'Em Up" from Tupac Shakur.
That is fair.
So that's in my head now. That's a really good song. That's a call out song for Diddy and Biggie's record label, and it's very antagonistic. You want to talk about a heel turn? That's the Tupac heel turn right there.
Yeah, good ass diss track. All right, yeah. So paint up those 2 Death Maidens. I painted up 5 more regular Escher Gangers who just kind of look basically the same as the other ones I've painted so far.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm getting kind of sick of painting Eschers, which is good because I only have 6 to go. And then I want to grab some Fear Cats. But there's just so much goddamn detail on them, and so many different kinds of detail too.
Wait, on the Fear Cats or on the Escher?
On the Eschers, I don't have Fear Cats yet. I'm gonna grab them. They're pretty straightforward.
Okay,
from what I can see. But
you get to do your funky pelts also.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing is every time hell yeah, I'm done. Oh wait, I forgot the pelt.
Did you do the Felixes yet from your?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you post them?
No.
Oh, Campbell.
I've been waiting I got a new light box and I really dig it. And I really like how my photos are coming out for the first time ever, but it does mean it's there's a little more to the actual process of setting up to take a picture. So I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet.
All right.
But yeah, those will, actually I'll send you a message right now with those 4 little lizard cats.
Yeah. Well, you've got to post. Oh, they're cute.
Yeah, they are cute. They're fun little models to knock out.
Does that box only come with 4?
Yeah.
Dang, son, you need 6 to 8.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah, ideally you want to, for Escher, and this is me power gaming Necromunda again, you want to max him, and I think you can take 3 per wild runner.
Yeah.
And so, the pro move is to take, 2 very low-cost wild runners with 3 Felixes each, and you just run them in a big screen in front of the rest of your gangers, and it's okay, deal with these, and while your gangers are busy picking everybody off.
Yeah, and since they're prospects, when they get murked, no one cares.
Right, and also the Felix, when they get murked, no one cares. So yeah, it is the current power play with Escher. I'm sorry, I'm so bad for the game of Necromunda.
Yeah, no kidding. You're really showing your true colors here.
Whatever. I know that there's at least one person who I am actual friends with who loves the fact that I'm here to power game Necromunda for people.
I'm sure they enjoy that aspect an awful lot.
Yeah.
Aside from that, though, I don't know, I'm getting kind of burnt on Eschers. I might take a brief break and do some palette cleansers before I get to the last 6 of them to do.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll see where we're at. I'm kind of I'm clearing off the painting table right this minute, so I'm kind of happy to have an open horizon here where I can knock out some Fallout miniatures or some of the random one-off character models I've just got floating around in my house.
You should get some Blood Bowl star players, my friend.
I should get some Blood Bowl star players. I'm waiting for that halfling riding a goat.
Yes.
Or a ram. That one, once that model comes out, I'm going to be all over it.
That'll be the day that I buy that guy. Oh, that'll be the day.
Excuse me while I buy this guy.
That's a Buddy Holly joke.
Swell.
I would imagine, Campbell, that we're the only 40k podcast doing Buddy Holly bits. You're not getting this on the independent characters, listeners. Oh, no. You're not getting Buddy Holly bits on that show. No, sir.
And you're especially not getting a 2-pack bit on the independent characters.
Yeah, you're really not getting 2-pack bit. Hachi Machi. That's one of my favorite songs, though, just straight up. That's a great one.
Hell yeah. Anyway, it's I don't know, Open Horizons, just waiting on to see what takes my fancy.
You're going to wait and see where the wind blows you, huh?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Whomst amongst us hasn't been waiting.
Hasn't been blown by the wind. Hachi Machi. Okay. Did you play any games?
No, I have not. My PC is currently dead.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah, it does this cool thing where it's like, hey, I'm on. Not anymore. Lol. Here's the BIOS.
Oh, man.
So, waiting on a new one, and that new one is coming from, drumroll please, Texas.
Uh-oh.
So that'll be a minute.
Oh, at least it won't. At least it'll. At least it'll be fresh, right?
Right.
It won't be melted.
It won't be overheating. That's for sure.
There we go. That's the joke I was trying to make.
Yeah, there it is.
Sorry, Texas. Sorry.
Anyway, how about you?
Yeah, so Chris Stover had a little game day at his house and went with Scott Horace and Mike and Tony and had a little get together there because the weather's been getting nicer here in the mid-Atlantic. It seems like winter's frozen claw might be loosening up around here, which is nice. So I went over there and I continued my domination of Scott, my ninth edition domination with a 94-point victory. He didn't have 0 points, but I did score 6 off max, so that was pretty cool. But Chris has a dog, and his dog is tall, and it knocked my impulsor off the table.
Oh, no.
And it broke the stand, which, whatever. It broke off the stubber, the heavy stubber, which I glued on fine, and it broke off the antenna that was on the back, and that disappeared. So I painted over the brake because there's nothing else I can do.
I'm used to you're like a model the day, like the first time you field it getting destroyed in game, but not in real life.
Destroyed IRL. I mean, it's a dog wagging his tail. You know, it's not like can't be mad at it.
No,
I just remember seeing it happen and going, "Oh no!" And then everybody was on the floor looking for the lost antenna, which was never found. So, well, but I mean, the body of that thing is all super glue, not super glue, plastic glue. So it was fine, and the paint wasn't chipped or anything. It's fine.
So, I mean, it's under more varnish than plastic at this point.
Right. So, but it's fun. You know, it's fun to see some, I haven't really hung out with people that much. So it was nice to see a couple of the guys.
Yep.
Being dudes. Anyways, let's talk about new stuff, shall we?
Yeah, there's been quite a bit.
Yeah, well, let's start with a little Necromunda update. Mm-hmm. Some new Cawdor weapon art was shown off in the latest Underhive Informant issue on Warhammer Community, and I got to tell you, bud, I picked the wrong fucking gang.
You really should have gone with House of Trash, shouldn't you?
Yeah, well, and all this means, Campbell, is that I will.
You can have more than one gang.
Like, I'll get there. That is a dream for spring, though, at this point. Because I've got quite the backlog to get through before I start even thinking about that. But they showed an Eviscerator, the two-handed chainsaw, with a built-in flamethrower, which I was like, yes, one of those. And then a shotgun with a built-in, at least, flame canister, which I believe used to be called Exterminator flamer guns or Exterminator flame canisters or something like that, which were it turned a lot of the old Redemptionist gangers weapons into combi weapons where they had one-shot flamers underslung their autoguns and shotguns and shit. And that was a really cool element of the Redemptionist gang, is if you got close to them, they might just have flamers waiting for you.
I mean, and if they don't, well, some of those flamers are attached to chainsaws, which is a real multi-tool if you ask me.
Yes. Cut and roast your burgers at the same time.
But they also are going to be. They put up Radis Tatterskin. He's going to be up for pre-order soon too.
Yeah, and the female Orlok gangers are coming up, and I will windmill slam the buy button on that one.
Yeah, they're so fucking good.
Because I would like some of them in the old gang, in the Golden Archies.
Got to get some muscle wives in there.
Absolutely. All right, Uriel Ventress. I don't know who this is.
You've never read any of Graham McNeil's Uriel Ventress novels?
Listen, man, if a novel has an Ultramarine on the cover, there is a solid chance that I'm never going to pick it up. I've only done it once for Dark Heresy because it was Gilliman, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I was pretty whelmed. Definitely wasn't overwhelmed. It wasn't quite underwhelmed. I was whelmed. But that kind of, I was like, all right, I don't need to read any more Ultramarine books. I'm good.
Well, let me tell you, I have read a lot of Ultramarine books in my time, and Uriel Ventress, and I have many Ultramarine armies as well. And you might think there's a correlation between the two. And after reading the Uriel Ventress novels, there certainly is not. I do not care for those books one fucking iota.
Graham McNeil has 3 Ultramarine armies.
Horus Heresy army, Retro Army, Primaris Army, and then back in the day, I had a regular army in high school of Ultramarines. Yeah, my old Ultramarines, which were just like dry brush blue over black primer.
Do you still have them?
No, they got parted apart and put into other armies. A bunch of my Black Templars used to be those Ultramarines.
Oh, I guess I guess we're both right then.
Yes, we are. They gave Uriel Ventress's model a new head, it looks like, or it looks different from the one that was initially pitched.
Yes, that's a good point, because the first one, he had like that dopey-ass bowl cut.
Yeah, it was a real quarantine haircut sort of situation.
And what happened to that? Did they like just whip up a new head real quick?
I have no idea, because the lead up on this stuff is so fucking long. Like, it's a year and a half from digital concepts and so on to actually physical models in your hands or so, from what I recall.
I think it's so like 2 years.
Yeah, that's actually probably more likely. So I don't know if that's just like an old picture of like an early cast or what, but he's got a new one now. I've seen some people doing mock-up photoshops where they put on a helmet and the model looks a lot better, because even his new head isn't great.
I kind of missed the shitty haircut. I thought that was like it's fun when models look terrible, right?
I mean, there's still plenty of bad haircuts in the Stormcast range.
Stormcast?
Yeah, some of the Stormcast models have really bad haircuts.
Oh, but okay. You were taking two things and making a bridge between them, and I thought you were talking about one thing. And no, this is the problem with me, because I'm stupid.
No, it's okay. This is the problem with me, because I can't focus on anything for more than 5 seconds.
I'm looking at Uriel Ventress here, and he's. I mean, maybe this is the original haircut, just at a slightly different angle.
No,
I hate this guy's feet. He's got like big boxy
square feet. Yeah. No, he's got.
This guy's just like the most generic fucking vanilla ass Space Marine commander ever.
Yeah, which is funny, because in the books he's a rebel and he's on the edge, and he's he gets censured for not playing by the book.
Oh damn, he got a damage 3 sword though.
Yeah, it's cool. I guess. I don't know. Fucking whatever.
He's got a Thunderhammer sword, bro. Oh shit. Death Guard better watch out. This motherfucker's coming at you.
Yeah. His rules are probably fine. I think the model will be fine to use as a conversion or something like that. I just don't like his head. But he's not that interesting.
Well, fortunately for you, Campbell, you could get this model. Mm-hmm. And I know that you've got extra heads somewhere.
I do. I have plenty.
You could put a Catachin head on them.
Oh, I should put a Catachin head on them. I do have spare Catachin heads, and that would be an improvement, as it is on literally every model up to and including Imperial Knights. And of course,
he's described as a maverick.
Yeah, he doesn't play by the rules. He's not by the book. He's been asked to turn in his badge and gun and told he's off the force, but he's still on the force.
I hate mavericks. I want everybody to go buy the book, damn it. You see the book, Campbell? You see the book? Yeah. You better not fucking throw this book. You better go buy the book every single fucking time, or I'm going to come after you. I'll have your badge and gun. Okay, well, let's stop talking about this shitty model and move on to a different shitty model. Oh, man, getting mean today. Kill Team Pariah Nexus is coming out, and it's got that bad Gravis Captain that I don't like in it.
I like that Gravis Captain. I like Casual Friday Gravis Captain.
But it does have the very good Heavy Intercessors, the extremely good Chronomancer, and the pretty much okay Flayed Ones. And I want to stop and talk about Flayed Ones for a moment. Why are they called Flayed Ones? They're not the ones who are flayed. They could be called Flaying Ones because they flay things, but they themselves have not been flayed.
I believe the plural is Flayings one.
Well, they're out there. They're okay. I think that kid is okay. There's one of them. He's got like one claw like way out in front of him, and another claw like kind of like back behind him, walking like, and it does. It's not a great look.
It's not quite. It's very similar to the Sasquatch pose one from the resin set.
Yeah.
But you know what? If these are pretty okay models,
they got supple wrists.
Ones ever been.
You got to have supple wrists if you're skinning things, apparently. That and playing pinball. That's a pinball wizard joke.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of classic jokes in here. Well, maybe not. The jokes might not be classic, but the references
are to old things. Yeah, the problem is you can't have any pinball wizards because Necrons don't have any magic. Sure flays a mean pinball.
How do you think he does? I don't know. Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. No, you live the song that's in your heart, and that song may be a Who song.
So
about
that's the third song I've sung this show. I gotta stop.
Hey, you're a musical
stop.
fella. It's okay.
All right, so we talked about the Flayed Ones. The extremely underwhelming Necron terrain also comes in the box.
Yeah, they look like I don't know, they look like caramel candies. Like
don't eat them.
Don't eat them. They're forbidden candies.
Don't eat them.
But they're just chest-high walls. They're not interesting. The doors are cool. The doors you can probably jam into like a piece of scratch-built terrain, and they can look pretty neat. But the terrain here, especially compared to all the other Kill Team boxes, including the other Kill Team sector boxes coming out, is really weak. Especially considering how cool those other kill zones are.
The models in this kit are very good, and honestly, I'm talking shit about the Gravis Captain model, but it's fine. It's okay. I'm not very upset about that or anything. The models in this kit are super valuable too because Heavy Intercessors, people have been waiting for those ever since they saw the data sheet in the Marine Codex that came out, I don't know, 6 years ago? At this point, I can't tell time anymore.
Yeah, something like that.
So I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about this box, and it'll probably fly off the shelves so it gets parted up and people sell the individual parts.
I think that's the thing because even people I've talked to who are like into Kill Team are like, I don't give a shit. Like it's the same rules.
Also, this is very lopsided. Flayed Ones are going to get wrecked by 3 wound, toughness 5 Heavy Intercessors any day of the week. Though the Chronomancer does kick ass. I'm sorry, that model does fucking rule.
Yeah, no, the model rules. I love his like floating D6s, but yeah, this is basically like a box set of like, here's your box set with an AT-AT Imperial Walker versus 3 Ewoks. Like it's a joke. It's not a good matchup at all.
God, he's just so casual. This captain.
I know, it's aspirational.
He's like, you know what? Maybe why he's casual is because the fight is between Heavy Intercessors and Flayed Ones, and he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, he's got the energy of like watching his kid at like a baseball game, and his kid's team is just cleaning up, and he's like, "That's my son."
It's like that's
my thick son.
It's about to be Mercy Rule.
Yeah.
And his son is definitely like he faked the birth certificate. His son's like 2 years older.
Yeah, it's like a little league game between a bunch of 9-year-olds and his son's 18. He's got Tom Hanks disease. It's fine.
He's got big disease. I also don't like his sword. This captain.
Yeah,
I don't like the hilt. It's too ultramarine-y.
See. Weirdly enough, I don't find that to be a problem.
Yeah. I guess you
Shocker,
wouldn't.
I know.
Anyways, Let's move on.
Yeah.
So we got the Mortal Realms preview. This was a big preview over the weekend where they did a bunch of fantasy miniature previews. And of course, this isn't a fantasy show, but we're going to talk about it because there's some interesting stuff in there. So just bear with us while we run through this. First off, we got some Lumineth crap, and who cares about that? I don't.
I think the new Lumineth stuff is pretty cool. I like that you can basically field an old school high elf army. Like there's analogs to everything pretty much at this point. You got your bolt thrower, you got your you get the old archers and spearmen and cavalry, but now you've got the bolt thrower, now you've got the sword masters, essentially the Benari blade lords, and you got a fuckload of heroes. I think they're cool. I love their piece of terrain. We've talked before about kind of how we disagree about the Lumineth aesthetic. I think a lot of it is cool. Not all of it, but a lot of it is cool. And I think there's some neat stuff in here.
Okay, and that ends our segment of Lumineth this episode, and we will talk about it no more. There's some sort of torture ghost for the Nighthaunt faction.
The cruel gas cruciator.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble parsing this model, to be honest, but whatever. It's a torture ghost.
Yeah, it is a torture ghost, and he's creepy. He's cool. He is a crypt keeper. He's perfectly delivers the Nighthaunt look. I dig him.
Let me get another Stormcast hero, and this one's doing that dumbass superhero pose.
He's doing the 3-point landing superhero pose. I think he's fine. I think his haircut is a little dumb.
They also give him a helmeted option, which looks 10 times better.
Yep, he's from a Black Library novel I never read.
I don't like it when they make the clothes like go upside down like they're falling or something. I know that this guy's like in the pose, but he's in the pose. Like I feel like they messed up here. Like they shouldn't have done that because it looks real dumb.
I think it looks okay. I think parts work better than others. I think the cape he has is really silly and doesn't really read very well. While I think there's other parts in that read a little better than that. But yeah, like the scroll work is okay, but yeah, the cape looks very silly. Although his sword looks like it says "new cat" on it.
Does it? I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, new random runes and then cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a great model.
No, he doesn't really do it for me.
I'm watching the video. They just showed it from the behind picture.
Yeah.
It's worse.
Ooh.
I mean, it's just not great.
Let me see Gardas steel buns here.
You can't really see his butt. You can only see he's got like butt armor.
Then what's the point?
It's not. It just looks like the back of. You ever see the back of a peacock?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Oh, you can super see his butt.
No, he's got plates and like got pants on.
Okay, he's
not
fair.
like
okay.
Sigvald.
Yeah, he's not Sigvald bare assing it here.
Oh god.
Now, if that was the case, that would take some true bravery.
I would be into that. I want to see. I want to see the butts. Games Workshop, show us the butts.
I want to see what are Sigmar's reforged butts like.
That's the question.
Like, God of Thunder.
I'm trying to fuck.
Right, it's a God of Thunder. He's got to have thunder thighs going on. Like, why not go for the thunder buns while you're at it?
All right, they updated the White King model, which was a model that looked bad way back in the day. So I didn't care about it. And now that they've updated it, it does look better.
Oh, you don't like the old White King model? The one on foot?
No, this is not the one on foot, Campbell. This one's mounted.
I know, but there was an old one on foot. Or, okay, you're talking about the old mounted one specifically.
Why would I be talking about the one that's on foot when I'm referencing the new mounted White King model?
Sorry, you just said White King model, or I just heard White King model?
Oh, my God.
Okay, let's start over.
No, we're keeping it in. Yeah, so it's a mounted White King model. It's updating an old model that sucked. But this one's good. I love skeleton shit, and this one, as far as like skeleton shit goes, this is one of the most
There's more skeleton per square inch than you usually find on a typical undead model, even because he's on a big old skelly horse too.
Yeah, there's two skeletons involved here. You get two skeletons for the price of one.
For the price of one ostensibly $40 model, and he's wearing skulls everywhere too, which is like in a Warhammer way you're used to wearing skulls, but when you are a skelly man, you're basically wearing your own face everywhere.
His expression does seem to go.
So I was thinking more. He looks like he just told a joke that only he thinks is funny. Like, you better bone up on your leadership roles. And the skeletons around him are just like, this fucking guy.
This guy, he sucks so bad. Well, his model used to suck, but he's got a good one now. So maybe the skeletons around him will feel better. Okay.
I hope this heralds new skeletons.
The Savage Orc mob from Warhammer Underpants Bad Hole. They showed us the rest of the models, and they are certainly Savage Orcs.
Yep. This, despite being Warhammer Underpants, this is the warband with no pants. And
I just noticed that the shaman character has a snake friend.
Yeah, I like that bit.
They painted the snake friend in the most boring way possible, though.
Yeah, I feel like
ran out of time.
I'd say in Age of Sigmar especially, where it's the most like wackadoo sort of setting, you really can go as nuts as you want with the color schemes, and it does bum me out that it's very like realistic colored. They're fine. I think all the Warhammer Underpants orcs or oryx or whatever just look basically the same as the regular plastic kits for them. Like they're all good. They're just not really
it's just that the orc aesthetic is so entrenched at this point that they like, you got to really go all out to wow us with orc stuff. And in 40k, they've done a good job of that. But ever since the Bone Breakers, I want to say, for AOS, which is one of the early AOS releases with the new larger orcs, those were great. Those were really great. But since then, they haven't really put anything out that I thought was really like for fantasy stuff that's been really impressive. Yeah,
I mean, even the Brute Warband that is that same, like the bigger orcs, like. It
looks great, but it's, I mean, we've seen
indistinguishable from the regular ones, though.
Saint it. All right. Cursed City. Let's move on to Cursed City, because this is something that I'm very excited about. I know that you're very excited about. And at least in our circles on the internet, a lot of people are super pumped. So they showed us the whole dang box on this stream. And y'all, I was not ready for this, because this shit is bananas.
Let's think they've been like drip feeding like a little bit at a time for like 3 weeks, and then boom, here's everything except for a release date.
Right. This is awesome. So we got all the heroes. Let me run down this real quick. We've got Sigmarite Sword Lady. Your thoughts? I'm gonna say the words, and you tell me the thought.
Okay, I think she looks dope. I think she looks real cool, real like badass, just kind of like straight down the middle Crusader type. I dig it.
She's got a big old griffin pelt on her, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We've got Witch Hunter guy who we've talked about, whose name is Extreme Derek or something.
Jelson Derek.
Yep, Derek. Derek the Witch Hunter.
Witch Hunter. Witch Hunter Derek. Love him.
It's a great model, yeah.
Yeah.
We got Steampunk Dwarf.
What's his fucking name? Dagnai Holdenstock. Yeah, the Caradron merchant. I think he looks a little more wackadoo than your typical Caradron dude. I like him. I like his little.
He's got like a harpoon
scales.
Gun situation, which is fun.
Yeah, and he's got scales in his back. To do business on the go.
He's a businessman. He's a legitimate businessman. What are you doing? I'm here in the Cursed City to make a couple of dollars.
I saw a market opening, and I went for it. All right.
Look at these scales. You think I'm playing around? You think I'd wear this backpack if I didn't mean business? And when I say business, I mean business. Now cough up the cheddar.
You best not be doing business in the Cursed City. This is my turf.
Yeah. So as you can tell, we're very excited about him. We've got our elf Huntress, who we talked about last show. Love the model. Great things happening over there. Then we have, I'm calling this guy the hipster duelist.
He's my favorite dude in the box.
He would be.
He looks like
I feel like if you could grow that haircut, you would have it.
I probably would. Yeah, honestly. He looks like 2/3 the dudes waiting behind me to pick up beer at the brewery.
Yeah, he's got a very Oregonian. Whoops. Whoops.
Fuck you, Baltimore.
Very Oregonian look to him. Yeah, it's great. He's got a very nice, what do you call it? Pistol. Dueling pistol and saber. The Games Workshop crew have been doing like great noble models lately. Since Rogue Trader and everything like that, they've been knocking it out of the park. And this is yet another one.
Yeah, no, someone had a lot of fun painting him with the coat off the shoulder. I love the asymmetry of him, the big ass sword and pistol. This guy. So
this is where we first start getting into the like Cossack sort of theme of this whole situation, which is a theme that used to be personified by the Kislev faction, or not faction, but at least Kislev part of the Empire in the old world. And I'm a huge fan of this theme. I know that there are a lot of real world problems with the Cossacks, but the theme itself for miniatures does look pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and it's a theme that isn't explored very much, especially in the Age of Sigmar or especially 40k sort of aesthetic.
Right. Next I've got this guy down as impractically long beard wizard.
It's a mask. He's like a
no. He's got a mask, Campbell. But the mask stops at his upper lip.
The dude. All right. So the thing is, because of how like straight this beard is, that shows that it's waxed. So this dude every morning goes over to his, I guess, industrial vat of beard wax, dips the whole damn thing in, and just like runs it through. I guess what looks kind of like a pasta wheel. He's got medieval hair straighteners, hair relaxers. I guess he's a wizard, so he might be able to conjure up some wax. Ooh, that's fair. Yeah, he probably like fucking in Fantasia just gets a bunch of brooms to come wax his beard or whatever, you know.
Yeah, just like Fantasia. Yeah, just like Fantasia.
That's
how
like
he does
Fantasia.
it. Yeah. I mean, he's a wizard. I never like wizards in these types of games. I'm always more of a beat 'em up kind of guy. We also got some sort of Sigmarite priestess who they're doubling down on the wizard look for this one, and that's great. Yeah, some people like wizards, man.
Yeah, no, some people are into the whiz biz.
Some people like wizards vans.
I mean, I like wizard vans while not being an especially big fan of playing as a wizard. So I guess that makes me a wizard poser.
Yeah. All right, and then finally we have a very scary ogre who he's got a punch dagger. He's got a big old mace. And I love his armor, actually. He's got that fur-lined brigandine sort of situation where same with that noble hipster duelist guy, he's got a fur-lined brigandine situation going on also. So more of the Cossack fashion going. And I'm a big fan of this ogre. He reminds me a lot of the Morgenthorg model from Blood Bowl, and I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, he's a real throwback to like the old like 80s, early 90s, like pre-Ogre Kingdoms ogre models. Yeah. Like, I think he actually is a remake partially of them. Like, that shoulder pad is on an old, like, 2nd edition or 3rd edition, whatever, Fantasy Battle Ogre. I love how this dude looks.
Yeah.
I really dig him.
That's probably my favorite of the heroes, to be honest. No surprise there.
Yeah, that's very fair.
All right, so we got some mobs also. Of course, mobs are what you kill before you get to the boss. So we got some bats. They're spooky.
One of them is a remake of the old Warhammer Quest bat, which I like a lot.
We've got some swarms of undead rats.
Again, spooky.
Very spooky. All right, and now we've got some Cossack axe zombies.
I think they're like ogres or demi-ogres or something like that, because they're really big.
They're big.
I like them a lot.
They're big. They got big axes. They're ready for messing around. These are like the mini bosses, probably.
I'd assume something like that.
We got some more pictures of the skeletal Ulfenvatch, which of course is the skeleton cops.
I really do love the look of these. Like, more and more, the more of them I see. You've got like,
I don't know, a couple of poses are like definitely that like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Come over here, tell me that to my face. What are you gonna do?
It's some real face me, He-Man.
I see you talking over there, but hey, I'm over here with my spear and my bones, and you're not doing anything about it. What are you gonna do? I don't know. So the poses are good for comedy, especially comedy podcasts. But they're like, honestly, a couple of them are a little silly.
Yeah, some are a little silly and some are a little flat, and I can see where some of them get kind of it's like, oh, this is the same dude with a different XYZ piece on him to look a little different.
What are you gonna do, huh? Yeah, I'm over here.
What are you gonna do? Smite me?
Hey, what are you gonna do from over there? I'm over here.
You can come over here and banish me to the otherworld? Don't think so.
And then finally, we've got. I've been calling these terrain zombies.
I don't like them.
They have terrain features. They have like pieces of their graves, I guess. They're carrying them on their backs. It's not a great look.
But it is a grave look. So, all right. So there's one bit of narrative here that I think. Thank you. There's my one good one on an episode.
I'm giving you a trio of rim shots for that one, homeboy, and maybe just one.
Nice.
Solid. I'm not a fan of these. I don't like how they all have the exact same posture. I like elements of them. Like I like they got like the roots growing through them. I think that's really creepy and cool. They've all got a stake through their heart because their grave is a stake that goes through them, so they don't come back as vampires. Like obviously they do come back as zombies. I like the raven on the back of one that has an eyeball in its mouth.
Delicious.
Like I like elements of them.
Oh, they painted one of the birds like a magpie. Also, which is fun.
I like it.
Yeah.
But I also I look at their faces and every single one of them, all I can hear is, it's a living.
Except the guy who's got the roots coming out of his mouth and eyes.
Yeah. He sounds a bit more like,
what? No. What? Take the root out of him. You're going to have to. That's fun.
I forget about it.
That's fun. We're having a good time. I don't know. I don't really like the terrain zombies that much. TBH.
Yep. And that I
think they're a little overdone. But let's move on to the bosses. Yeah, and we're going to start out with the big bad. Mm-hmm. I'm calling him Cossack Wolf Vampire because he is a clearly Cossack vampire with a giant two-headed wolf pelt. And I'm in love with this model.
Yeah, I love this dude. Just two wolf moon over here looks mean as.
He's got two wolves inside of him, and they're both vampires. He's a vampire.
They call me the two wolves kid on account of these two wolves.
I love this model. I think they're knocking it out of the park with the boss models here. Next, we got Torgilius the Chamberlain. They give us a little background on him. He's some sort of experimental necromancer guy who is seconds away from lighting his raven on fire with a candle. So please, Torgilius, be careful with that candle. He's got a lot of pets. I called him the necrozoologist.
That's a good term for it. I posted that he has, on Twitter that he has the same energy as the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons.
Yeah, he kind of does, doesn't he?
I dig him.
Some people have been saying they don't really like this model too much, and they're wrong, and probably sex offenders.
I will say the first part. I won't leverage the second one quite so cavalierly as you do.
Well, I am this podcast's maverick. So what are you gonna do? No, Dan, you can't have it both ways. You can't be the chief and the maverick. Guess what? I'm throwing the rule book out the window.
We're playing podcast Calvin Ball.
All right, then we got the Ulfenwatch police chief, the skeleton police chief. I mean, he's got a halberd and a sword. And
an eye patch, even though he has no eyes.
Hey,
love it.
Hold up. The eye patch could be holding the eye in.
This is true.
You don't know that.
Ain't doing him much good at this point.
No. I mean, it's a fashion. Well, listen. Skeletons, they don't have eyes. Mm-hmm. So they don't need their eye sockets.
No, it's not.
So you might as well decorate.
Yeah, it's not impeding him in any way, I suppose.
No. He's going to keep one eye socket for night vision. Mm-hmm. Shut up. Next, we got a frankly terrifying vampire monster.
Yeah.
In what is probably the best miniature in this entire box. It is, and the paint job is gross.
Oh yeah, no, it's gnarly. It's an old Vargulf or Vargeist or whatever. I don't remember what the smaller one is.
Vargeists are the ones with wings, so this would be a Vargulf.
Gotcha.
This is great. I love this thing. I mean, you look, it's got so much detail in the skin and like the wrinkles around its claws and stuff. This thing looks like it would be a ton of fun to paint.
Yeah, it's got a lot of detail without being overladen with shit. Like it doesn't have there's not like any extra decoration on him. It's just this critter, like this nasty critter. I love it.
Yeah, extremely good. Then we have, of course, Grave Digger.
Yeah, this dude
who now that we can like see the body that he's surfing on or whatever is like one of those terrain zombies.
Yeah, it makes a lot.
So now
more
we're
sense.
getting a closer look at that. Then we've got the trio of the agile hipster vampires. They're agile because they're like on terrain. They're hipster because they all have haircuts, and they are vampires because they're obviously vampires. And there's three of them. They look great. They have like bestial feet, which is an interesting take on vampires. But hey, man, I'm for it. Whatever. No, let's advance. Let's advance these vampire ideas. They've been stagnant for so long.
Let's advance the vamps.
As long as they're not sparkly, I'm good.
Dated references.
I've actually never watched or read any of the Twilight books, but I know that they're widely reviled. So
yeah, from what I've heard, you're not missing out on much.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff in this box, but what's the most important part, Campbell, is there's a secret envelope, and I must know what lies inside.
It's just a drawing of dick butt.
Oh, talk about blast from the past. All right, and then finally in this, we've got a preview of a model that is definitely not Be'lakor, you guys.
Yeah, it's fucking Be'lakor. It's fucking Be'lakor.
They're remaking a Be'lakor model. I hope he's big this time, because last time he was small.
He was very small. But hey, you know, it's about time we get a good plastic Demon Prince model.
Yeah, I hope he's like night-sized, like the those new Demon Prince or new Greater Demon models have been enormous. I hope he's at that scale. I'm sure he is.
He's the first Demon Prince. He should be big, as opposed to being slightly taller than a Terminator.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to WMDK, where we make the call. This one's from Drew Beats, Campbell, our man in Kansas.
Ooh, boy, on the field.
Love Drew Beats reporting live from Kansas.
Drew Beats says, on the beat.
Drew's actually great. We met at Adepticon, where he was just wearing a 40k Badcast t-shirt, and he came up and said hi, and we had not previously met.
It is a surefire way to make friends with us when we are at an event where we can be in person.
I played a game with him too. He brought some very nicely painted Imperial Guard, and I had my Raven Guard, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to win this, so I'm just going to charge everything at you. And then I won it because I charged everything at him.
I remember that. Yeah. Hell yeah.
He's a good guy though. Really nice guy. I'd like to see him again IRL someday. All right, Drew from Kansas says via email, "Okay, you meat puppets. Here's one for you. Make the call. I was just scrolling Reddit. Don't do that, Drew.
First mistake.
When I came across someone who posted a terrible paint job. Politely, and it is important to stress this, I pointed out some solutions they could take to solve the issue I saw they were having. This made me think about an issue I've been having across social media, which is not being allowed to give criticism. Often groups have a if you're not going to say something nice policy. Both of you are an art background, so I am sure that neither of you are strangers to having your work criticized. Without this constructive feedback, creators will struggle to improve their work, or worse, think that their work is actually good when it needs improvement. Should we as a social group, speaking of all gamers / painters / hobbyists, change our behavior and start to tell someone when they are doing something wrong in hopes to use that feedback to improve their work?"
Compliment sandwich. Compliment sandwich. If someone shows
now, hold up, Campbell, because when you say compliment sandwich, I'm thinking of a mean comment, and then a nice comment, and then a mean comment, because generally a sandwich is defined by what's in it and not what's around it.
I mean,
am I wrong?
You might be. You might be. In that case, it's a negging sandwich. Don't give anyone a negging sandwich. Give them a compliment sandwich. Okay. One where the compliment is the buns.
So if I were to serve you a sandwich with a piece of rye bread, some mustard, some Swiss cheese, some pastrami, and then another piece of rye bread, what kind of sandwich would I be serving you?
You'd be serving me a Reuben.
No, Campbell, I wouldn't be serving you a Reuben because a Reuben is corned beef and sauerkraut and Thousand Island. No, I'm serving you a fucking pastrami sandwich, Campbell.
Okay. Well, nowhere on a Rachel sandwich is there anybody named Rachel, to my knowledge.
It's a Rachel sandwich.
I think a Rachel is a Reuben with turkey.
Is that what a Rachel sandwich?
We're really bringing in the discourse here.
Yeah, it's just a turkey Reuben.
Turkey or pastrami and coleslaw. Yeah,
with pastrami. I didn't say coleslaw though. I said just mustard and cheese. It's a fucking pastrami sandwich. You're inventing ingredients for.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, all these sandwiches would be delicious. This is not the point. I'm very sorry for causing this enormous digression.
I'm not, because they'll let me start Googling images of sandwiches, and that just makes me happy. Okay. You want to surround any negative criticism with positive criticism, or at least encouraging criticism. Like, not necessarily like if someone posts a straight up, like every time someone posts a picture and they ask for feedback, whether that's in our inbox or on Twitter, and I feel like commenting or wherever, if I'm going to say anything at all, I try to focus on something positive, try to focus on an area for growth, and then maybe I'll either focus on something else positive or ask a question that they can then expound upon, because when they answer that question, then you can start a dialogue and maybe they can figure out for themselves or with your assistance where to go next or how to improve. So if somebody posts a model and it's got absolute like dog shit basing, like the base looks like just raw brownie mix, and the paint is really thick, and there's not even a hint of a highlight, I might be like, hey, well, you might want to try thinning your paints, and a little bit of a wash would really make that pop. But I like that you're going with third company ultramarines. What made you choose that? And then you can maybe figure that out and have a conversation around that. But a lot of time, people post pictures online, they aren't asking for feedback. Sometimes they'll say like, be brutal, tear this apart, or just like, how do I improve? But other people might just say, I'm really proud of this thing I did. And if you got to kind of read what they're saying along with the picture, because they very well may just want to say, hey, I'm proud of this thing I did. And they aren't really looking to get much better. Like, they might just be happy with where they're at. And that's fine. It's tricky when it's not people you know. It's really tricky when it's not people you know. Mm-hmm. But if you are in doubt, compliment sandwich. Just have any positive outweigh any negative. And also phrase it as like a suggestion or a question, not as a command. Be like, ooh, have you tried X? Not, you should do X.
Right. I think it's important in this case to treat people like coworkers you don't know very well. You know what I mean? Like somebody like who's not like your bud at work. You can just be like, you fucking moron, you fucked up. You can't do that to everybody. So you got to treat them like this. There's somebody you work with that you don't know very well. Generally, when I post models, I'm not looking for feedback because I'm done with them. And it's really just like, here's some stuff I was working on. If you like it, cool. And if you don't, like, I don't want to fucking hear it. And it's not. This isn't even implicit in any of my posts because I'm not saying. It's definitely not explicit. But for me, it's like I don't want feedback from people. I'm sorry. I do want feedback if they like it. If they don't like it and they want to start suggesting for me, ways I can like improve my painting or whatever. I mean, maybe I want to hear that, but generally I don't care.
It also, that's the thing is like sometimes if I'm working on something and I'm not sure about something, I'll be like, hey, friend, what should I do here? Or what do you think would look good here? Or I'm trying this, I'm not sure how I feel about it. What do you think? Like, I'll have that sort of dialogue with a friend in a personal conversation. I don't tend to post that sort of thing publicly just because that's not what I want to do.
I mean, I look at it like the way people look also, right? You don't, if the only time I ever mention something about somebody else's, like the way they appear, is when I'm saying something positive, because I know that like even negative or even neutral comments about people's appearance can be like very, very damaging. So when it comes to commenting on models, I personally only try to say positive stuff, and then I'll ask questions for parts that I think could be improved. But generally, I do not post any sort of criticism unless people are explicitly asking for how do I get better at this, or what do I do next. Otherwise, I just try to be positive and be encouraging, and even if it's not a good paint job, I'm going to find something I like about it and tell them if they're asking, because people, the hardest thing to do is like get into something, care about something, and then people tell you you're bad at it. And then you don't want to do it anymore. And that sucks. And there's already so much of that on the internet that, what we can do with the space around us is just make it encouraging and helpful and friendly. So I think when it comes to this kind of stuff, I think you got to wait for people to ask for criticism. And when you do, you got to find ways to uplift instead of just tear everything down.
Yeah. And if people do give you like negative criticism, like kind of uncalled for, like kind of makes you feel bad, negative criticism, you've got to kind of be like, okay, do I actually respect this person's opinion? Does it matter to me?
Right.
If the answer is no, then you should kind of just try to take it in stride. If the answer is yes, well, that sucks, and you might need to rethink the nature of that person's relationship vis-a-vis you.
Well, I remember last show we were talking about your Necromunda Eschers.
Yeah.
And you had shown me the pink that you were painting on them, and I said that I thought you could go better, or like go higher rather, with the highlights. And I told you this because you and I have had so many conversations about our paint jobs in the past, where we know where each one is coming from, and we know that we're comfortable with each other's opinions on stuff. And I mean, we have a good relationship with one another. So we're not, it's not like just some stranger hurling out, "You suck," from the back row. And when I'm painting stuff and Campbell says something, well, you could do a little better highlight, or you could go a little higher here, or take this a little darker or something, I'm going to listen to that because I know I respect Campbell's opinion. I know him and I like him. But it's not the same for, Paint Daddy 42069. I don't know them from Adam.
No, you don't know them from Paint Daddy 69 420.
Yeah. Ugh, what a terrible thread that would be.
Hate that.
So Drew, I think the main takeaway here is the idea of the compliment sandwich, and the idea of waiting for people to ask for criticism. And if somebody is, doing wrong things or having bad habits, it's just miniatures. If it's not life or death, it's not really that much of an important thing, and it probably can't hurt anybody else, even if somebody paints their miniatures poorly. So I think that, having a mindset of being encouraging, and the other takeaways we already mentioned, I think that's the way to go.
Hell yeah.
That's a great question, though, Drew. Thank you so much. That's a nice little conversation there. But let's move on to what is going to be a very stupid conversation, because it's the stupid sandwich part of the show.
It's sandwiches top to bottom.
Where I didn't really have a good name for this segment. Campbell, did you?
I didn't really either.
That doesn't mean it's a bad segment. Well, it is the Badcast. No. So, but this one, it's I'm calling it Servo Skulls in the Home. So Campbell asked me, what 3 types of servo skulls would you like to have in real life? And I was immediately excited to talk about this, because, well, one, servo skulls are great and a very fun part of Warhammer 40k lore. And 2, it allows me to complain about stuff, which, as we all know, is something that I absolutely love doing. So, Campbell, can you give us a little bit of background on what a servo skull is, real quick?
Yeah, sure. In the Imperium, when you die, especially if you're someone who is respected a little bit, generally your skull is turned into a floaty robot that just floats around assisting people, or doing menial tasks like carrying around stuff. For instance, in the Carrion throne, the Inquisitor main character, is accompanied by a servo skull of an old acolyte of his, I think, that just floats around and quips at him, I guess. I don't really remember it doing anything useful. It just kind of wisecracks at him. Or there's that one Rogue Trader model from Blackstone Fortress where the servo skull is reloading her pistol. Like, they just do useful stuff. Or less than useful stuff. It's really up to whoever made the servo skull.
Yeah, there's a rule in the Astra Militarum Codex. There's a servo skull of like a long dead general whose memories are implanted in it, and so it follows the bearer around screaming out orders at people, but sometimes its orders are bad and wrong because it has malfunctions, because everything in the Imperium is bad and wrong and malfunctioning. So it's fun. It's just like just a fun little and also like I think part of it was like a good scribe has died, so they're like, well, we can't waste his bones.
Yeah, in my family, we use every part of the scribe.
Yeah. So servo skulls in the home. Campbell, as is tradition, I would like to invite you first to bring your real world servo skull to life.
Well, the first one is the only one I have a name for, and that is Skulls Mackenzie, the party skull. It would be a servo skull fitted with a call pattern gripper and ripper that would float around the house and let me crack open cold ones at will. And like I'm talking like it's got gonna have a built-in bottle opener. The brain pan is going to be hollowed out, so I can just drop the bottle caps in there instead of wondering whether I should put them in the trash or the recycling. It's the servo skull's problem now.
I can see a problem with Skulls Mackenzie. It just won't stop gripping and ripping. Like if it sees any sort of can or bottle, it opens it. You can't turn it off.
Even in death, I still grip and rip.
Just constantly gripping and ripping.
Well, the thing is, I feel like we need like an activation word. So I just say like grip and rip, and it would go and tip, and it would pop the can and pour it for me.
You should just shout grip, and it goes and rip. Oh, I love it. The Skulls Mackenzie.
If I could,
do you put like a tie-dye, Dayglow tie-dye baseball cap and like some Macho Man Randy Savage glasses on Skulls Mackenzie?
Well, the problem with the baseball cap is then his brain pan won't be open for me to drop bottle caps into, or empties into, rather. However, I think I could probably give him some sort of like RGB situation. So it's just like rapidly changing colors while it assumedly blares music out of the Bluetooth speaker I jammed in its craw.
I thought you meant Ruth Bader Ginsburg for a moment.
No, that was another episode. Bad timing on that one too.
Okay. It's my turn.
Yeah.
I despise invasive bird species.
Okay.
So I want a servo skull with like some sort of BB gun attachment that is like trained to chase away starlings, house sparrows, and other non-native birds from my yard.
I mean, there's gun skulls in Necromunda. It's basically the same thing.
But here's the problem. Here's what I'm worried about. Is it would get it wrong and just kill all the birds.
Well, that's why I'd use non-lethal rounds.
Yeah. Or like or like a squeeze bottle with water. So like, you know, when your cat's being bad. So instead of like actually hurting the creature, it just like chases it off in a non-lethal way.
All right, I like that.
That's better. That's a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. That's why we workshop here on the 40k Badcast.
I also want this to do the same for deer. Oh, the deer. Oh my God, I hate deer. They try to get at the birdseed in the feeders, but it's too tall, so they can't get it. So all they do is end up tearing up the ground underneath the bird feeders because they're like jumping around trying to hit them with their heads to knock birdseed out. And then they eat all my plants that I'm trying to grow. I planted a bunch of trees, young trees, and they just walk by and eat them. And I have all these tree tubes in my yard now trying to protect these things. I hate these deer. Just as an anti-pest servo skull. Perhaps the skull of a deceased exterminator, repurposed to get rid of pest species.
Ooh, I bet there could be some really cool irony to that too if it has like antlers mounted on the exterminator skull.
Oh, I like it. A little bit of you know, exposure therapy to the skull. I don't know. Come back to me. All right, give me one.
All right, so kind of in the same vein as that, the servo skull that tells the Imperial generals how to fight, I need one that can keep track of the rules of this fucking game for me. Like, I need a floating codex pal to just keep track of the rules, correct my rules misinterpretations.
When Craig Sniffen dies, this is what we're doing with his skull.
Actually, yeah, then it will really be like that one, because half, if not more, of the information will be wrong. And
Craig,
like, the thing is,
Craig, I'm sorry. It's been decided.
But the thing is, like, of course, like, it's a 40k thing, so to like make it actually learn the new edition of the rules, it needs to be like fed the biological material of Jervis Johnson or some shit. So it'd be hard to kind of update the rules unless I can like connect it to my Wi-Fi. Yeah. But I feel like it would also be good because if I could maybe make it like have the little like servo arms, maybe it could move my horde armies for me or reach the center of the table when I can't.
Yes, that's a good idea. I like that. A little gaming aid skull.
Yeah. Yeah, better than the servo skull tape measure I have that broke the first time I opened it.
I remember those. All right, I got one.
All right.
I want a condiment skull. I want a skull that's loaded up with delicious condiments. So when I'm making food, all I have to say is like, skull, lime juice on that shit right now.
Okay.
And it's like, 'cause, I'm eating tacos or something. And the skull like floats over and pops a little squeeze of fresh lime onto my carnitas.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I like that a lot. Although when you said condiment skull, I was picturing one where the eyes were essentially those like fast food restaurant style ketchup and mustard dispensers. And it would just like float over your hot dog and just like tilt down and just like a stream of ketchup and yellow ketchup.
That's disgusting. The idea of putting ketchup on a hot dog, Campbell.
Oh
come
no!
Now.
Oh no! Are you a meat tube purist?
I was okay. So I said that thinking, it might be fun to have a little bit of hot dog chat on the show. But then I realized that I'm becoming the person I hate the most in this world, which is people who argue about food on the internet.
Oh no! I'm sorry. When I'm thinking about. I'm taking an awful turn here because I also pictured this as like dispensing chili onto hot dogs from a servo skull.
Now
and the
we're
skull
talking.
Just floats over, opens its maw, and just like a stream of chili just dumps on it.
Oh, that's terrible.
This is the start of my grimdark Sonic the Hedgehog fan fiction.
I love it. The chili skull. That's it. We're changing it from the condiment skull to the chili skull.
It's not beans, not beef. It's just chili wholesale.
It's like 7-Eleven chili just vomits out of its mouth.
Just room temperature 7-Eleven chili floating around your house at all times, waiting to strike.
Oh, hell yeah. I love it. All right. Give me your last servo skull in the home.
All right, so you mentioned a little spray bottle on a servo skull, the way you'd discipline a cat. Well, I want an all-in-one cat care servo skull.
Okay.
Because I love cuddling with my kitties. I love petting them and scritching them and picking them up, and then they yell usually. But I need something to take care of some of the stuff I don't really love doing, like scooping the litter or brushing out knots in their fur, because they usually tend to claw when you do that. I figure it would have like a buzzer and broom attachment to shave and clean up Numi's messy butt, which means it could also potentially be used to shave my own head once in a while, so Anne doesn't have to do that every 2 weeks. And it also would have a little tiny t-shirt cannon essentially to fire out cat toys so they can go chase them when I don't feel like throwing them.
I like it. I think that would get a lot of play here at the Boyd household as well. Yeah. I feel like the cats would knock it out of the air and destroy it, though, almost immediately.
Yeah, that's probably the case. But, that's why you use the skull of something that is frightening to them, I guess, like a large dog.
Or just anything large, really.
Really, yes.
Okay, that's a good one. I think my last one, I feel like this one could be a skull or a cherub.
Okay.
And this one is purposed for folding laundry.
All right.
There's nothing I hate in this world more than folding laundry. That's not true. I hate a lot of things more than folding laundry, but for the purposes of this segment, there is nothing I hate more than folding laundry. And I mean, I enjoy having clean clothes. Don't get me wrong. I do laundry regularly. I'm not a nasty boy, but I hate fucking folding laundry, gang. And if I had a small robot or small repurposed human child to do this for me, I would appreciate that. I used to go to Austin, Texas every year for South by Southwest for work, which is a really good deal. If you can get your work to pay for you to go to South by, that's you're winning at life. I don't know if this will ever happen again, but it used to happen. And I remember I went to a demo from I think it was like GE or LG or one of these big giant corporations or whatever. And they had a clothes folding robot.
Oh man.
And I took video of it, and one of our analysts was talking to the people there about the products or whatever. And I was just like, I want this in my home immediately. And they said, oh, it's just a prototype. It's not for sale yet. And I was like, when will it be for sale? And they said, we don't know. And I said, this is terrible. Why would you allow me to see this and not immediately buy it? How many dollars is it? I do not care. I want a servo skull or a cherub that will fold laundry for me.
Yeah, except the problem with a cherub would be like at the end of the night, it would like fold your laundry and then just sit on a pile of it and stare at you while you sleep. Like,
well, listen, the cherub, the laundry cherub doesn't need eyes or a face.
That's true. Actually, it can have a skull too.
I would prefer it if it was a mix of skull and a cherub.
Okay, that's fair. A little Michelin man made of skulls.
Yeah. You're gonna need arms for this. This isn't this isn't just a little snappy jaw. No. This is arms. So, yeah, that's what I want. I hate folding laundry.
All right, very useful.
All right, this is a good segment. It's stupid.
Yeah, I think it was one of the fastest, probably the fastest you've approved a segment in quite some time.
I loved it. I think, listeners, we're not geniuses. Far from it. But you're geniuses because you listen to the 40k Badcast. So why don't you write in and tell us what kind of servo skulls you would like to have in your life? And oh my God, if you write in to tell me or Campbell anything about hot dogs, I am blocking you.
Unless it's a servo skull that grills hot dogs, in which case, beat you to it.
What about a servo skull that just dispenses hot dogs?
Again, similar to the chili dispensing one. It just open its mouth and just either, what would be more upsetting, a stream of already made hot dogs or one really long hot dog until you clamp the jaw shut and tie it off?
I don't know. Would they be like cooked? Because hot dogs are pre-cooked. You can just eat them.
Yeah, this is true.
You don't have to warm them up.
Yeah, you should.
That's just lipstick on a pig, baby. I just like horking them things down. I don't even like to chew them. Just
yeah, just Kobayashi them and just like one go.
That's where the 69 sound effect comes from.
Oh.
Episode 69.
Well, not that sound effect. The other 69 sound effect that I had a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's from a sports science episode on ESPN where the guy tried to figure out, he took a cadaver stomach and he tried to shove as many hot dogs as he could into it to show like what the competitive eaters were doing to themselves.
Yeah.
And he got 69 hot dogs in there with buns.
Oh, man, with buns?
Yeah.
That's just empty carbs. You can fit in so many more dogs if you're not doing buns.
Have you ever seen a hot dog eating competition, Campbell? The buns are part of it.
Oh, man.
I know. It's hard. That's the hard part. If it was just dogs, it wouldn't even be a competition. You can eat those things endlessly.
Yeah, I thought they just like dipped the raw dog in like a glass of water, just like shoved it down the throat and just went sliding right down.
No, you'd want like olive oil or something for high food viscosity.
To really just emulsify those dogs in your body. Yeah, you are basically a human hot dog salad dressing shaker. At that point.
This is making me sick.
That's why I don't watch competitive eating.
Let's move on to yet another edition of Crusade Focus. This time it's on Dark Angels. And Campbell, for once, this is not my favorite Crusade section so far.
I agree with that, actually. I think it's, spoiler, I still think it's good. I really do think they are going all out with these, but it is not my favorite.
So I was immediately ready to get argumentative about this because it mentions the Fallen a whole lot. And we talked about how you don't like it when Dark Angels get rules for the Fallen.
It's not that I don't like that they have rules for them. It's that you never have a chance to use them. But this specifically gives you like ways to use them.
Yes, it does. It's a section.
That is what makes me very happy about it.
The first section we're going to talk about is called Hunting the Fallen. And here's how it works. At the end of each battle, gain 1 Unforgiven point.
Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, that's why we're like 20 minutes late, because you're just like, what's the best time they say Unforgiven in Unforgiven by Metallica? So here's the thing. If you really were truly devoted to your craft, you would have Unforgiven 2 in there as well. You absolute shitheel.
All right, so Campbell, why don't you explain to us how Hunting the Fallen works?
All right, you keep a tally of points. This is worse than the Bare Naked Ladies button. And you gain 1 each battle, and you can get them via some other means. And when you have 20 of them or more, you can.
What kind of points are they? What kind of points are they, Campbell?
Unforgiven, Dan. Okay, all right. So yeah, when you have 20 or more, you can cash them all in for a Hunt the Fallen mission, which is basically in a regular game. You can add in this Hunt the Fallen objective where you give a Fallen miniature to your opponent. It says you should make one and give it to your opponent. You can lend them either a Captain Librarian or Cypher specifically. And you have to play a game with the Capture the Fallen agenda. And your opponent just gets to use them, and they cost nothing. They don't really interface their army in any way. They're just a guy. And if the Fallen is still alive at the end, they get 3 experience points and for their reward and a requisition point. And if you capture him, well, that's where that Capture the Fallen agenda comes in.
Right. And this bonus agenda is called Assist the Stranger, which I think it's fun. This is fun. This is really fun.
Yeah, I like this because also it incentivizes your opponent to play along with your Crusade story.
Yes.
You're not being like, hey, can we do this weird special mission that only I benefit from? It's like, no, we're going to play a regular ass game with just this little bit of spice on it, and you get an extra character.
And you get an extra 6-wound character with a 2 damage sword.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're doing your opponent a solid, and you're telling a story for your own army. I love that balance. I think that's so fucking cool.
So yeah, this is how they're getting more Fallen into the games, because just having Fallen rules for 1 unit and 1 character that nobody ever uses is not great. But when there is an actual way to get in your Crusades to get to the point where Fallen are all over the place, like that is fun, and this is how to do it, and I love it. They're giving us the only thing I would change is the 20 Unforgiven points. I think that might be a little high. I would maybe change it to 10 or 15, but maybe that's not high enough. I don't know. It seems like getting the Unforgiven points is a little slow, but that's just me.
There's a lot of ways to rack them up. Like
rack what up?
They're Unforgiven points, Daniel. They're Unforgiven points, Daniel Patrick Boyd.
Yeah, we are the best podcast.
Oh God,
All right.
Living up to her name every episode.
All right, let's talk about some requisitions here. The first one is interrogation. I love this one. It's 0 requisition points. You can use it after a fallen unit, excluding Cypher, has been killed by a unit in your army, and then you select an interrogator chaplain and or a Deathwatch librarian. You can Deathwing. Sorry, you can select both. And roll 2d6 on a 2 to 9. One of them gets an upgrade, and they have some special upgrades for them. But on a 10 plus, both of them get an upgrade because they've interrogated the shit out of that character. And these are really fun. The interrogator chaplain, there's 3 possible upgrades. He can add 3 inches to the range of his aura abilities, which is really strong on a chaplain. Yep. He knows an additional litany. So if he's a master of sanctity, he can know 4. And then he can also just have the litany of hate running for free.
Yep.
Well, you still have to roll for it, but he can. But it's like automatically he's talking about how much he hates stuff always. Mm-hmm. That's really good. And then the librarian, he can do stuff like adding 1 to psychic tests, really useful. He can reroll deny the witch tests, and you can. Here's the big one, and this one rules, is add 1 to the number of mortal wounds done by witchfire powers like Smite. So now
they're witchfire powers from the Interomancy discipline.
Oh, is it just Interomancy?
Yeah, same with the plus 1 to sight. I thought it was
Smite too.
No, it's just Interomancy. Which
that one sucks, man.
I have no idea what the spells even. I can't even remember what the spells even are, but it's so funny. That's
I like
such
this.
A bad word.
I really like this requisition though because it's a free bonus if you manage to get a fallen and kill it.
Yeah, I also like that there's not any sort of special thing like you have to get the fallen in hand-to-hand combat with this character. Like, no, it's just a thing that can happen. Like,
and these characters don't even have to kill the fallen. It has to just be killed by your army. And then they capture it after the battle and interrogate them.
Yeah, love it.
It's fun. It's good stuff. All right, next up is called Inauguration. And this one's great. It's super flavorful. Use it when a Dark Angels unit kills a fallen unit, and then you can pay a requisition point to replace that Dark Angels unit with an Inner Circle or Ravenwing unit because they've killed the fallen. So now they know the truth, which means they have to be inducted into the Ravenwing or the Inner Circle.
Yeah, there's so many stories about Dark Angels, like learning these secrets and becoming part of the Inner Circle over time. And I love there's a way to actually represent that in a really sensible way. Because, like, I feel like you could just be like, well, this unit gets so many experience points, they get to be Inner Circle. It's like, well, why would I be Inner Circle for shooting a bunch of Tyranids? Like, you don't learn anything from that. This is specific. And again, you should be ending up with Fallen often enough that you'll actually get to use this without using it every game. Right.
And it's stuff like you still have to pay the points for the new unit. It's just that you change the old unit over in your order of battle to the new unit.
Right.
So,
it's cool. Or they can just get the Inner Circle keyword if you want to keep them as.
Right. And then they keep all their experience and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Inner Circle as a requisition. And this is just making a character Inner Circle. This is something that you could do normally in the Codex. And this is just the Crusade version of that.
Yep. Makes a little more sense when it's a character, not just a random squad that you can just kind of promote to Inner Circle. This way, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, I like it.
And then finally, we have the Lion and the Wolf. It's no longer a strat. I'm sorry. I think it's no longer a strat. I'm not going to check because I don't care. But it is a requisition in Crusade, and this one is great. You select a Dark Angels infantry or biker model that is not a character, so generally you're going to have a sergeant be the one there. That model gets +1 attack, and that model gets +1 to hit and wound in melee versus Space Wolves.
Yep.
It's honestly not bad if you're like, all right, now my Deathwing champion has +1 attack, so he has 5 attack space or 6 when he charges.
Yeah, the fact that you get +1 attack in addition to the Space Wolf specific bonuses make it actually useful. If it was just against Space Wolves, it'd be like, fine, fucking whatever.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little bonus. And if you're playing in a Crusade and you got a friend who has Space Wolves, I expect you to take this every single time until all of your sergeants are beefy as fuck every time you play your Space Wolf friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some agendas, Campbell.
All right.
So let's go with Capture the Fallen. We've mentioned this one before because it is, of course, compulsory when there's a Fallen mission happening. This one is 3 experience for each unit, a Fallen unit that a unit kills. And if they kill a Fallen unit, the Warlord gets 3 experience too.
Yep, that's cool.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
This one I love.
Yeah, it's a little wonky, but it's really cool.
It's called None Must Know. The opponent selects 5 non-Dark Angel units from either army. Mm-hmm. And you gain 1 Unforgiven.
Thank you.
Point for each unit destroyed at the end of the battle. So this one's, it's got wonky rules because the opponent picks, and they can be units in the Dark Angel player's army, but they cannot be Dark Angel's units.
Right. It represents that thing where like Dark Angels will murder their allies for witnessing their hunt of the Fallen. I don't know how much that'll come into play. I don't really know how much people are doing like Imperium soup armies at this particular juncture, but I love that the option is there.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to be like, okay, well, I've got all these guardsman units, and I'm just going to throw them at the enemy because I kind of want them dead because I want those points. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I like this one a lot. All right, next we have Mental Interrogation. This is really just a rip off the secondary. Where you have Dark Angel Librarians can do a psychic action to gain XP and never gets old. That's the best part of it.
No, absolutely not. If only it was more of the song.
I mean, give me 5 minutes. No, I'm just I should have gotten the ones from Unforgiven 2. I learned doing this that there's an Unforgiven 3.
Oh, shit.
Which I haven't listened to yet, and I'm probably not going to because I'm not really into Metallica anymore.
No, don't get anything to add to that. I'm not very enthused.
All right, next we got Dark Rumor. This is if the enemy warlord is killed by an inner circle unit, that unit gains 3 experience, and you get 3... 3 of those, and if it was a melee kill by a Deathwing, Ravenwing, or inner circle unit, then it's 5. Listen, man. We this is what we do. We do bits.
No, it super is, and you took the time to make this bit happen. So hopefully you never have the chance to do it again after this episode. So get it out of your system.
Well, listen. This was. I kept reading the word Unforgiven, and I kept thinking of the this song.
What word were you reading over and over again?
You're having fun with it too. That's the best part.
Of course, I fucking am.
I kept reading it, and I kept thinking of this song. So I thought I'm gonna go make a quick bit. That's fair. What I did.
Yeah. So Anywhom's Dark Rumor, it represents your guys capturing someone who is allegedly dealing with one of the Fallen or whatever. I like the little narrative sort of nugget in there as well, as opposed to just being like, there's a Fallen in every enemy army. It's like, no, this is just a dude who might have dealt with a guy wearing Black Power armor. So I like it.
So next one is called Encircle the Foe. It's you put Raven Wing units within 9 inches of the corners, and if they end the battle there, they get 2 experience points.
We've seen this one before, and it is lame.
It's very lame. It is not cool. Then we have the Deathwing Cometh. If a Deathwing unit kills something, the turn it comes in from Deep Strike, they get 2 XP. And if it was a character, Campbell, they get 3 XP.
I like it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
and that's what you want to do anyways. You want to drop those Terminators down, and they fuck something up immediately. And it's specifically from... teleport strike, so it's not like a Deathwing Blade Guard unit coming out of an impulsor. It is specifically from teleport strike, so it's just Terminators.
Right, it's the Deathwing cometh, not the Deathwing jauntily arriveth.
Right. Next, we got some honorifics. These are, of course, bonuses, not bonuses, but upgrades that captains can get. The regular Space Marines have 10 of them, and the the Dark Angels here have 4 of them. The Master of the Deathwing, Ravenwing, Keeper of the Unseen Ritual, and the Master of Watchers, and you get little bonuses. And then it also talks about if you have special characters in your order of battle, what honorifics they come with.
Right.
But as I think we've made this stance clear on this show before, special characters in Crusade is lame as hell, so don't do it.
Yeah, make your own story. Don't just add to somebody else's. Although I really I don't think a new Master of Deathwing, new Master of Ravenwing, those are pretty well done. I've read like Keeper of the Keys. Like there's all these titles. But Master of Watchers I really like, not just because it gives you D3 Unforgiven points. So but because it means somebody's job is to be the Jawa king of the Dark Angels.
Yeah, right. I can just imagine like the Watchers are like you're just trying to get them on the Thunderhawk for battle.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, you idiots. Come on, stop fucking around. Stop fucking around. Put that down. Oh, you better put that down. That is a relic. That is an ancient relic. That is an ancient skull of a Brother Sergeant fucko, and you better put that down right now, you little shit. And the Watcher just sits there holding the skull, watching.
I imagine to get those things into the Thunderhawk, you need one of those those harnesses that like first grade teachers have, where they like pull the entire class.
Oh, like on a big string.
On a big rope. Yeah, I imagine you something kind of like that to get the Watchers into or out of anywhere.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Or a laser pointer. They go crazy for those things.
They love the damn things.
All right, here's where this book fell apart for me. Mm-hmm. Crusade Relics, I'm reading through them, and I get to the Shield of Calisan, and it's a goddamn storm shield that's 3-up invulnerable. And at this point, this book is dead to me. Because one of the great things about 9th edition is that 3-up invulnerable has been mostly removed from the game. Mm-hmm. There's like a couple of things that can get it for a turn. And then Dark Angel's book goes on and says like, oh, you could just upgrade one of your idiots with a storm shield to have a fucking 3-up invulnerable all the goddamn time. Fuck you, Dark Angel's book. You're dead to me. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. This book sucks now.
That's a shame. Well, actually, here's the thing. That's where you got disillusioned. I actually got disillusioned right away with the Lion's Roar. It's an always overcharging but never overheating combo plasma gun. And first of all, it used to be a combo plasma cannon, so that's already kind of lame. And second of all, plasma that doesn't explode is for cowards.
Tell them.
Like this is a fucking like no tip sippy cup of a plasma gun. Like no, the excitement is that sippy cup could tip at any moment or 1/6 of the time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, if you're a Dark Angels player and you take the 3-up invulnerable save shield, yes, it's good, but that makes you bad. Just want to put that out there. I don't care if people don't like it, Campbell. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, and they should really call the Lion's Roar the Cowardly Lion's Roar because it's for cowards.
You know, there are battle traits after this. I don't even want to talk about them. I'm just mad. Yeah, I know what will soothe my enraged spirit, though.
Okay.
A round of Factor fan fiction.
Oh, fuck! Yeah, here we fucking go.
Let's do it, man. How's that for a segue?
I like just pulling the fucking ripcord halfway through a segment.
Oh, I didn't listen, man. I'm serious. We got to the 3++ shield, the fucking 3-up invulnerable shield, and I was done. I was done with this book.
Well, the problem is there's no D66 table afterwards for anything.
There isn't. If there was, we could have done Dark Angel's names or something, but they didn't have it. They had the 3-up invulnerable shield. Like, fuck this book. It's over. It's done. Right. Dark Angels players, you're on notice officially.
Dark Angels, you're canceled. Okay. So last time I gave you some army background, and you definitely guessed whether it was fact or fan fiction.
Yes.
This week, I got some other army background that I think it's going to leave you stumped.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so I realized that this category exits too late and posted my army background on the fluff category. Yes, I realized I'm a fucking scatterbrain, so I wanted to post my army background in the right section, so here it is. My army is from the planet Merposa, and it is led by Inquisitor Thetis Degel, who is considered by many to be the best Inquisitor in his generation of the Degel family, and is thus probably next in line to be the next leader of Merposa. In command of the IG units of the 14th Merposan Infantry Regiment and the 3rd Armored Regiment is Thaddeus' sister, Alika. The thing that sets Alika and Alpha Company of the 14th Regiment apart is that they are abhumans. They were kidnapped by a Rouge tech priest who experimented on them, turning them into types of monster he found in an RPG monster manual printed in the 21st century. He believed that the book dated to the Middle Ages and thought that it was a biology textbook, which, spelled like no word which, led him to the conclusion that the monsters in the book were once real and that humanity had driven them to extinction. So he decided to bring these creatures back from extinction by using humans as a base from which to start. Being as Alika was a noble when she and her bodyguard diappeared or diapered, it was deemed that the disappearances were domestic issue number one. It's a peaceful, quiet, agar world. Every Degel Inquisitor on planet was sent looking for her, which was about 30 Inquisitors and their retinues. It still took them 2 days to find the underground lab, but by then Alika had been mutated into a Medusa. Seeing as she was family and there was not even a hint of chaotic influence, the local pontifice declared that the experiments were abhumans and would not be subject to extermination. Many of the experiments felt they needed to make penance and join the PDF. Alika was given command of the company formed by the abhumans because that was the only command where anyone would follow her commands, her being an abhuman and all. The third part of this army is made of the Imperial Paladins, space marines who I had laying around, so I may as well use them.
And then I got these fucking guys over here.
May as well.
Well, that's good. I like that. However, Campbell, once again, you've given me something that is quite obviously fan fiction.
Damn it, you got it in one. What was the part that gave it away? Was it the litany of typos? Was it the Dungeons and Dragons monster manual? Was it the fact that this army background was written in first person sometimes?
I'll tell you. When one of your fan fictions references another IP, that's usually a dead giveaway.
Okay. What about where it says fuck?
You know, you did mention that they do say fuck sometimes in Black Library publications. So.
Yeah, they do occasionally say a cuss word.
All right, well, that was fun. Thanks for that, bud.
Of course, that is A Partly Abhuman Apocalypse Army by Yeri.
All right, thanks, Yeri. I would like to see this army. If you can find pictures of this, I would really appreciate it.
They have a Cold War NATO Imperial Guard army.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's some green stuff work. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Let's do some plugs before we get out of here. We got social media accounts. Twitter, I'm at DB_sleazy. He's at brother SRM. I recently tweeted a bunch of old model pictures.
Oh, you did. Those are really cool. I like seeing the old guys.
A little bit of compare and contrast from Raven Guard from 12, 13 years ago. And some models from my first 40k Army Grey Knights, painted around 2006, so coming up on 15 years ago. And I don't know, I had them open. I was looking through them and figured, might as well post a few of these to Twitter. I think people might enjoy them, and people did. So if you want to go check that out, DB_sleazy on Twitter. That's Chaboy. And then we also have a couple more social. Well, Campbell does, really. He's on Tumblr, Cam2D. You can look at his models there. We got a Facebook group, facebook.com/40k Badcast. I don't go on Facebook, so you're not going to see me there. But young Campbell, he'll be there.
Yeah, it's unfortunately my curse. So facebook.com/40k Badcast, where you can follow us there. Also, I'm also on Instagram at Crumbs McLums. Have fun spelling that, fuckos. We are also on Patreon if you want to support us. So at patreon.com/40k Badcast, you can chuck us a few $1 dues every month and get all sorts of bonus content. There are years worth of bonus episodes and other fun goodies there for you to check out. So head on over to Patreon, and if you got the cash, we would appreciate the support. If you also would like to support us in a financial way, you can go to shop.spreadshirt.com/40k Badcast to buy all sorts of merchandise, up to and including the absolute very best Warhammer adjacent grilling apron you can get.
It's true, but also there's stickers. I think the stickers are currently the star of the show. Get the stickers. Do crimes with them.
do all the cool crimes with the stickers because, I mean, if you're doing a crime with a sticker, it's going to be a cool one.
And just as a quick note, the 40k Badcast will always be free to listen to and will always be ad free. The Patreon and the Spreadshirt and stuff, that's just for people if they want to support the show. There's no compunction to do so. Don't feel like you have to. If you want to, go for it. But if you don't feel that you want to, or you don't have the cash or whatever, it's fine too. The show will always be free, and you can listen to it however you want to listen to it.
Yep. And if you do want to give us some support or help us out and you don't want to do so in a financial means, we haven't asked this in a while, but tell a friend about the show. If you think they'd love it or they'd hate it, feel free to either build or burn that bridge for us.
Yeah, or drop a review on whatever podcast listening device you or program or whatever you prefer. We love having reviews. I haven't read them in a while because I don't think we get a lot of them generally. So
no, not really.
So maybe if y'all can pop a review down, that would be A-okay with us.
And if that review makes us laugh, we might read it on the show.
Right. And then here's a way to support our friends. Go to goonhammer.com and read the articles there. Both you and I write for Goonhammer. I write a weekly column about Necromunda, and Campbell writes stuff every now and then.
Yeah, when I feel like it.
But Goonhammer is a wonderful place for good content for our hobby, so go and check it out. Mm-hmm. And finally,
yes,
email. Contact 40kbadcast.com. Probably the best way to reach us if you want to do so. I check the emails all the time. I get push notifications to my phone. So I see them. I see them. I don't always respond to them because I'm just not very good at responding. Let's be honest here. But I see them and I read them and I enjoy them.
And I tend to look at all the ones with pet pictures and I adore them.
That is, that's a really good way to make me click a email is to look at a pet picture. Mm-hmm. Dogs, cats, birds, lizards, all of them, gang. We want to see them. All right. At the end of the show, we do a quote. Campbell reads it. I make a dumb comment if I have one. Sometimes I don't, and I just, end the show. But let's see what happens. Campbell.
Yeah, I got a particularly inspiring one today. The common man is like a worm in the gut of a corpse, trapped inside a prison of cold flesh, helpless and uncaring, unaware even of the inevitability of its own doom.
Damn, dude. Are you sure that's even a 40k quote?
It's a thought for the day from Rogue Trader.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking metal as hell, isn't it?
Dark as hell is what it is.
Hell yeah.
Oh boy. All right, on that really high note, we'll see you next time. We're bad at this, we're bad at that. We're bad at
we're bad on top of a big fluffy cat.
There we go. Thanks, bud. Thanks for saving me on that one. We're the 40k Badcast. We are bad at 40k, and so can you. And we will see you, fine listeners, in the next cartoon.